agree. So we cannot agree that examination period is the most dreadful period of every student's life. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Oh, you are not talking. You're a scholar. You're a scholar.
No, ain't that. No.
It's all right. It's all right. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about examinations, pre-examination period, examination period, and of course, post-examination period. As you can see post-examination period on our faces. We are happy. We are relieved. Oh God, what a life! Exam almost killed us, but God is alive.
God did it.
I mean, obviously, it's your girl Mika Mika in the building. I've got 3 beautiful faces here with me, but I'm not going to tell you their names. They have mouth. Let them do the honors.
Me first.
No,
I am Chinedu. Is that all?
So we have another Nedu on the podcast. Let's hope it doesn't turn out like the other Nedu on the podcast. If you know, you know. And of course, a beautiful lady in the building.
My name is Jumobi.
And the scholar.
Damola. Ain't no scholar.
Damola is the scholar. He's the one that, exam wasn't tough for him.
No,
it wasn't tough.
No, I never said that.
But of course, let's start from the very beginning, pre-examination period. When you resume a new semester, you're like, it's another time to come and flex, skip classes, maybe if you're serious like some people that I know, or, be in classes if you're serious like some people that I know,
Word.
All of that, and you're like, then suddenly somebody tells you, exam timetable have dropped. Go and check. Then your department will not take out the departmental timetable from the general timetable. Then your own level 2 will not take out your level's timetable from the departmental timetable. And then it becomes real and real and real. And for me, to be very honest, the moment when it becomes real is when I see the timetable for my level. I'm like, so on Monday I have this subject or I have this course. Then I'll now go open the book. Something I probably never opened all semester. But I mean, that's just me. I feel like Nedu is like a scholar and like he opens it.
The thing is, me, I don't usually read like during the semester. I don't read during the session. I know I have guys that read like when exams come in, when there is test, they're already reading before then. I prefer like a week, sometimes even night to exam. Like I have guys that were doing like overnight together. We've not even seen the topic until the night before. Just like Jesus, even the day before.
Men I trust.
Yes, men I trust. Just like okay, it's God and men I trust that will run this exam for us. So this semester was kind of unserious for me because I didn't put in like too much effort as I should have. So.
But when did this sink in that exams are starting? When did there's a point where you're like, okay, exams. What was that moment for you?
Okay, I think it was when they like amended the timetable when they did it, and I was like, whoa, okay, we have this, and I was like, okay, I should start reading. Okay,
so that was like when you saw the actual timetable.
When I saw the actual timetable.
How about you, Jumobi? When did you decide, I need to take away my plate and focus on books, exam already in the corner?
Is it crazy if I say that? Well, I don't know. I didn't exactly reach that point. Since the exam came out, it's like, oh, I have a paper tomorrow. It's not like I didn't prepare. We had tests, so it's like residual knowledge from tests. I was like, okay, I have an exam tomorrow.
She had knowledge from
I am on a podcast with scholars.
No, it's not like that. But it's like residual knowledge from tests. Like, okay.
It is what it is.
It's not that big.
I mean, it's exam. I'm not going to die.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Damola? Was that your kind of situation, or do you have another situation altogether?
No, mine, like, naturally, like, when my brain works, though, if it's not like a week to the exam period, I don't, dive into it. So, yeah.
So up onto a week to exam, you're still flexing with your guys?
I'm still flexing.
Okay. Like I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with scholars. I am here. I can see.
That's how my brain works, honestly.
No, yeah. What's your... I'm sorry, but I feel like they also want to know. What's your CGPA?
As at last semester, okay, that was something I should be proud of. Okay, I think 4.63.
Okay, first class, and they say they are not scholars. Okay. My auntie, what's your CGPA?
I don't have a CGPA yet.
What's your last semester's GPA?
I'll say 4.4.
Hey, Mika, what have you done with your life? What have I done to myself? Damola, come and shatter the table.
As of last semester, I was on 3.8.
So I'm here with scholars, basically. I'm here with scholars. But anyways, 5.1. Stop it now. Don't open my, so that they will not know that under all this skinny. But anyways, let's talk about like exam period. Okay. How do you read for exams? Let me put it that way. How do you read for exams?
Okay, how do I read for exams?
Do you subscribe to the overnight bubble? Are you more of a, I'm going to read on my own?
Yeah, I know. I read on my own. I prefer reading on my own. I prefer.
So you don't come to departments or you don't go to library for overnight?
I've never entered the school library. I don't think I'll ever enter it. I prefer reading on my own. That's how I've like always been.
Okay.
So I'll just ask my guys for topics and materials and they send it to me. I write notes normally. So sometimes when they send PDF, it's my notes that they've used as PDF. So
wow.
So I just read
There are
those
levels to this scholar thing. There are levels.
So like those are what I used to read. So I read on my own and just materials. That's all.
Okay, so you do not subscribe to the overnight mentality.
I can do overnight, yeah, but on my own. Just that's like
that's not overnight, please. You push please. Stop chat.
No, their life is to overnight.
No, overnight is you are there in a department or you are in a gathering of place and then all of you are just like, throwing questions or you're just reading in a group. That's basically what overnight is. It's like night. So people call it night class.
When I want to start like on all nighter, let's call it on all nighter because she said I should not use the word overnight. When I want to start it, I'll post on my status, sleep is the enemy, and then everybody know that.
Okay, this kid is doing overnight. Okay, let's come to you, Joey. What's yours like? How does exam look like?
Personally, I like to read alone. I like to read alone, like maybe PDFs, jot down. Okay. Normally, I necessarily do not have a note, but when exam time comes,
the PDFs pop up.
Yeah, I just
jot it
down
together,
and stuff like that. But when I like have people maybe over or read with people, is maybe I don't understand a particular part very well. Then
and you want them to explain it.
Yes, I set it up with sometimes one person. It's like the lesser the better for me when it comes to learning.
Understand.
Yeah, so it's just. And do I subscribe to overnight? No. Why? I don't like being uncomfortable and mosquitoes. I would rather just do an overnight in my space. I can, but going out and I don't know, it's not just for me, no shade.
Wait, must you go to a class to do overnight?
I just established that fact.
Like you
can do overnight alone. You can, but like I think the whole idea of overnight is basically you doing it with like in a place where there are other people reading. Yeah. I think most people subscribe to the idea because like seeing other people read will boost your morale to actually read. Because personally, I can't read alone in my hostel. I will sleep. Like, every Friday, so people are like, go downstairs
but
to the courtyard.
But when there's failure, you will read.
Oh God.
No, yes,
when my bed is, I know that my bed is upstairs.
Sometimes, but when your guys are like saying, okay, what's this? What's the meaning of this? Now be like, shit, I really need to.
And no problem.
Read.
Tomorrow morning I will read.
Someone that really cares. You see, honestly, someone can be saying something about and honestly, and I've not read. It's not like I've read or there's one confident, and I'm just looking at you, and it's not like I know it. It's just I don't feel like reading that time. So honestly. There's no book influence.
To be very honest, like if once at the back of my mind is like the bed is upstairs, I can just walk upstairs and sleep. Yeah. Which ginger? Failure has got nothing on me. Okay, then let's have your take. How do you read? Do you subscribe to overnight?
First things first, I read like on my own. I don't subscribe to like tutorials and all that. I tend to read at my own pace, my own time, and with the help of ChatGPT, I don't know.
Wow, ChatGPT, another person's rescue.
Yeah, and YouTube videos as well.
Yeah.
So and for reading, like time I read, I don't subscribe to reading during the day because I feel like I get distracted from so many people. But I prefer overnight, and it's a lot on me because I take a lot of energy drinks to keep myself awake, and at the same time affects me, and coffee too.
I mean, I think if you have watched previous episodes, you will have seen we have said once or twice that I used to drink coffee and Predator together. I used to mix it. But I always say disclaimer. Yeah. Don't try it. It's me that is to use it. Don't click before you go and something happen to you. They say it's Mika the advice. No, I'm just saying that's what works for me because I actually take a lot of energy drinks too during the and I never feel sleepy. Even especially if
I don't even take it.
Especially if my exam is like around 9 a.m. or 12. I'm not gonna sleep to that time. I'm gonna do the exam and then come back to sleep.
The same issue happened to me. Like one of our papers. Like I mean I didn't sleep till the exam 9 o'clock, and I started having a lot of migraine. Headache and all, but I still have to it. Yeah. Me, no, I've not seen the side effect yet, but people like to say it's accumulating. Yeah. It will not accumulate for me in Jesus' name, amen. I'm not saying side effects yet. One thing I don't do is I don't read in my room because I'm very comfortable and I know I always fall asleep when I try.
Like so people that even used to read on their bed, lie down on your bed and do like this.
I respect them a lot.
It can't even be me. I'm not disciplined as that. I will sleep. The book will drop on my face and I will sleep like I've not slept before.
Honestly.
I feel like it's even sweeter.
At least during the exam period when you're applying to read for exam, the
sleep is always sweeter. Like it's like the devil is tempting you.
Yes, like there is this. I don't know if it's like an exam tension that all the things you shouldn't be doing when it's exam period, you will want to do everything. Like I know that I watched so many movies during the exam period, but now I'm done with exam. It's not even doing me to watch movies.
It's the devil at work.
I didn't do any of that
Like
exam period, actually.
Exam period, I was watching movies.
I
knew I was reading, but
my routine doesn't really
too.
change. I don't think like there's any drastic change. I think the only drastic change has to be overnight for me, because the same period. Like I watch a lot of series, and I follow them, and then if a new season comes out during exam, I will watch it. It doesn't really change anything for me. I will if there's a new movie that everybody's saying, oh, you should check it out, I will watch it.
For me, like my brain was like, nah, don't do that. Right after exam, enjoy your stuff.
You have.
But then I actually, established one thing. You people, all of you that you are scholars, you all said you like to read alone. That's I think that's the secret, Abby. That's people are not telling you. That's the secret. Reading alone will make you a scholar.
Like it depends, Sha. Like if you read alone, I think it's better than like reading with people, because it's just me and my space. I'm moving at my space. If I'm reading with people, like before
somebody
you know it's even chapter 5,
and
I'm like,
I think for me it's like
exactly. So,
the whole reading with people thing for me is I like to like explain to people, even if I've not read it before. If I explain it to one person from the material, I would also understand it like that. I think that's one thing that has always been my cheat code.
Okay,
so if I go for overnight, so I go for overnight, and then somebody's like, Mika, come and explain this to me. Me knowing fully well that I have not read it, I will say, give me your material. Let me read it from the book. And then as I'm explaining to you, it's like I'm reading it too at the same time. So I think that's one reason that I have always liked to do overnight. But enough of the reading aspect. Let's talk about the exams themselves. So we're going to touch on invigilators, touch on your lecturers themselves. All those lecturers that used to be nice during classes. And they enter exam hall, and you're like, is it the same man? I mean, in my head, the track in my head is, you're not the one I used to know. There's a particular lecturer in my department, this one is the chillest lecturer around. Classes is always chill. He doesn't really stress us during class. He doesn't give us too much assignments like vox pops and all those videos as assignment. Yeah. But then exam hall, this man will literally legit come in and say, if you say something, I'm going to take your scripts. And he will tear somebody's scripts as example. I'm like, what do we carry? What do we throw? Sir, why do you carry anger enter the exam hall? But I think that's just my experience. How about you guys? How has it been? Which invigilators have been the craziest? Which invigilators? Don't say their names, please. I'm still in school before they come and give me 1 minus something at the exam paper. But just share the experience itself. Invigilators that acted crazy in the exam hall, or invigilators that made you feel like will I pass this exam? Or your lecturers are just switched up during exams. Let's start from you.
For me, this semester, I think one of our courses was Pool Ideas. Though there was this incident that happened in our faculty that he was affected, and the man that day was just extra angry and extra strict with his exams, and he chased a few people out. And in fact, some of my friends that had to submit, was pretty harsh on them. He had to deduct their marks because so it was tough, but. I was just chill, so I didn't really have issues.
You're an all-time scholar. I don't know yourself in that kind of situation.
Come on. No,
but let's come to you, Jumobi. What's like the worst?
Well, I think it's very different for me because I'm my first year, so it's all the exams we take are computer based.
Okay, so
we don't really know our lecturers like that because
So you do everything on the computer. You're not doing anyone physically.
No, I've not had one written exam, but then I just feel
lucky you.
I just feel lucky you. Aura is they want you to be scared. It's yo, don't take dubs in, don't come in with your phone, don't write for another person. They generated this password stuff different from last
tickets
semester. So I don't know, it's just they're trying to put the tension in, but it's I feel it's really calm, and it's not so much.
But at the end of the day, you still have it lucky. I'm gonna still say you're lucky because written exams are you go sweat higher. And of course, Nedu, let's have yours.
Yeah, I've seen Shege. I've seen things. I don't even know where to start from. Okay, some invigilators are good, some are good. When I mean good, it's not they will see you cheating and they will leave you. Of course, they will
they'll be calm, they will not leave you.
And then there are some that their eyes are everywhere.
If I catch you, it's over for you.
The people that saw Adam eats the forbidden fruit and stuff like that. So their eyes are everywhere, and so it's crazy. Of course, you have to ask now. Don't carry those, but ask. So, but these ones, they don't give you the
chance to even
ask. I think the last one, wow, just do you mind is already staring at you, and you're
my brother, you can't implicate me.
So it's crazy.
During my start this semester, where I was in the hall, and a friend of mine was asking, And the lady just saw me and she just came to me and she picked my script. But luckily I was done though.
I heard something like that. One of my guys, he had something in post and statistics too. He said he took his paper.
Yeah, she took my script.
Damn.
And then it's over for you.
Very,
But thank God you were done, obviously.
Yeah, I was done,
and then, I mean, I remember that the last paper that I did, the second to the last paper that I did, and then that was where the lecturer came in, and then he was like, he switched up from Mr. Nice to like Mr. Dragon kind of person in the exam hall. And then he's like, I saw the exam questions and I was like, sometimes you've read the course. Or when you have that lecturer that, they just come to class and they gist with you. So they don't really teach you anything. You don't really know what to read for exam. But you're like, okay, you are trying to follow the pattern of the assignment he has given you or the test kind of thing. You're like, okay, it's probably all, first semester I taught you, what kind of questions he said. And you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure that this is how this man is going to do. Probably simple questions. And then you enter the exam hall and you're like, I'm sorry, I have to just dramatize. That's how I felt. I also wore glasses to the exam. I removed the glass and wore it back and I'm like, and then I looked at this man, he entered the hall and he's like, you have 30 minutes for my exam. I'm like,
whoa, yes.
What am I supposed to write? And then he's like, objective, if you don't get it, you don't get it. I'm like, I honestly wrote what I knew. And then I stood up. And then funny enough, I was the first one to stand up in my hall. And then that idea I was first to stand up. It's like, oh, he's smart. Everybody that came to ask me, I was like, see, I know that no matter how long I sit there, the questions will not change. The ones I know will not change. The answers I have picked will not change. Let me just hold down to say, okay, I want to stand there and be crying. This one has done me dirty. But whatever. Let me just stand up and submit and everything. So it's like, some exam questions will hit you and then you're like, but I know that I read now. At some point you're like, should I just write what I read for this lecturer? Let's know that I read something.
Or the questions they even put one of the papers I did.
Yeah.
At the end, after people be talking about their stuff. Like me, I have something that please let's
I
not
try
talk
to run
about
away
the
from
past.
it. I don't like to be in that situation.
So, but then this one, they are actually talking about it because it was serious. They now said the answers to that one was the question, like the way he puts the question was not how it was in the notes. And I was like, I read what is in the notes, but I did not even know that was what he was asking. So I was like, it was crazy. Like, I remember that one, characteristics of something, I read it like crazy, but then that's not how he asked it. So I just read something.
So English is also a bastard.
Yeah, that's just the thing in post science too. Like, this semester, we have dealt with so many twisted questions that you have to use close to 15 minutes
to actually understand
and decipher what the question is actually talking about.
Wow, that's like...
It's a lot, man.
How about you, Jumabi? Did you have any experience with any, like, even though you were doing CBT, any crazy questions that hit you and you're like, wow, this man really teach us? And there's some questions they give you as discussed in class. Sir, when did we discuss this? I mean, I came for all of the classes. When I don't remember this discussion, but like any crazy questions that actually hit you like that. I
actually just remembered my last paper, which was yesterday, was actually a practical one. So it was written, yes, but it's like, okay, it was practical. So they grouped us. They said that you're doing pendulum bob or you're doing optics.
Okay.
They put me in front of the pendulum bob thing. And it was like, wow, what magic do I want to start performing? And honestly, the instructions were not straightforward. I feel they do it purposely.
Yeah, to confuse.
It's like when you see someone do it, this is what the person is doing, but the way they wrote it is like German, and it's like I didn't understand it, but I saw someone do something. I'm like, this is what they're asking us to do.
Okay.
So, and there was time constraint. It was crazy, and lecturers were threatening us. If you write anything, they actually subtracted marks -5, but they didn't subtract from. I was just like, you know what?
Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah.
Finished, So that's how it went, basically.
Okay, so I mean, exam questions will definitely it will. Yeah. I mean, some people discover exam topics inside the exam hall. Like you're just you're like looking and you're like,
what is this?
Yeah. Wow. And then you're like in shock and everything.
Yeah.
But mostly I didn't really do any theory like questions or exams or everything. Yeah. But you know what? It was during this exam I knew that OBJ is not always nice. Sometimes theory is better. Yeah. Because if you give me theory question, even though I don't know that particular one, I will write what I've read and relate it to that question you asked me.
It's not all the time.
It's not all the time, but it's actually like more plausible to do when you're doing theory than when you're objective. What do you want to do? Pick ABC and say, sir, I know it's one of the things.
I know it's one of the things for me because
I mean
theory sometimes can be scary.
Yeah, actually, theory can be scary.
To me, I think I prefer like is objective German than theory. I've seen theory that will shake you.
But I don't think German is dangerous.
German, German, if you don't know it, you don't know it.
If you read for theory, you like kind of figure your way out. There's theory they will give you.
But then there's German that they will give you.
Yes. If you don't know, you don't
German that they will give you, like especially people that say questions in between the lines.
Yes.
Okay. It's not really a subtopic.
Yeah.
It's like probably one intro, and then they pick it from there, and then they're like,
"This is dash,"
and then you're like, Oh my God. And then you can remember you skipped through that thing in the book and you're like, I thought it would not come out.
Yeah.
And then you're like, German. But I mean, lecturers have tried their best to frustrate us in the exam hall, but as I always say, God day, my God doesn't flop. He doesn't wear flip-flops, period. But of course, exams have now come and gone.
Yeah.
How are you feeling at the moment? Like, okay, we have talked pre-exam, examination, post-exam. What is your feeling at the moment?
I mean, I feel relieved. I mean, yes, it's done. I mean, even the after my final paper, I mean, the hair feels different. Wasn't it? It feels like I was caged, like I was somewhere.
I'm free.
I don't feel it.
I mean, I started appreciating things that I didn't do in exam. Like, wow.
Okay.
I was looking at my friends, I'm like, wow, like this.
Oh my God, we don't have to be scared of exams.
Yeah, I think it's just.
I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. How about you, Jimobi? How's your feeling?
Examination did not really hit me, like I said.
Honestly,
a lot of people think it's confidence, but honestly, maybe it's just a degree of nonchalance that is not a matter of I'm nonchalant about my studies. It's just like, let the exam come. I'm doing my exam, yes, but it's not that serious because especially people there's one thing I've learned. A lot of people try to make things harder than it seems. I don't know, maybe it puts everybody in exam mode.
Yeah.
But it's like on the group, have you learned this? Have you read? You cannot read everything. So it's just like, most of the time I don't even open my class group. So it's not like, I'll see something that I've not read and I'll panic.
Like,
and it's like, what am I doing with my life? So it's just, I'm just there. I go, I write something. So when I was done, I'm like, okay, it's time to go, man. All the sickness that I was not sick before is like coming down now. But I don't think there's any special activity that I put on it. After exam, I've just been living life like everything.
I mean, that's the scholar lifestyle. If you know, you know.
The thing is like, when you're in school, when you're doing exams, like you have a sense of purpose, like you have to read for this. Like when you come, like when you're not doing anything, there's nothing you're doing again. Like you just like, what do I have to do? What do I have to watch? What do I have to download? That's just how I am now. And like I remember the last day of when we finished the papers, we were kind of like signing off, like not signing off, like we're just so excited because we've been in like one level for like one session for like a long time, so we were so crazy about it, like we were leaving the school, so it was like a good time. And then when I go home, I just slept, like I just said I have to sleep. Woke up the next day, what do I have to do? Like there is nothing that is driving, just watch movies, waste my life. And, so, like,
well, technically it's not really wasting your life.
It's not wasting your life.
I mean
some people are doing something
after exams. I think I have time for all that things.
Yeah, exactly.
You can juice with your friends now. I think that the only thing that after exam has for me is I still do those things during exam. I just feel like I will not feel something at the back of my head nagging me and saying, there's buko. That voice is gone. At least till next semester exams, it is gone, and then I can do it with my full chest, with confidence. I'm like, you know what?
Let's just do it.
Let's just go. Let's just do it, like, period. And then I'm just so happy that I can leave this level. I mean, many years in this particular level, and it's like my friends have graduated from school. My cousin just literally did a sign, and I'm like, we graduated secondary school together. And this person is doing
my friend has graduated
from not the school now, obviously.
No, I mean like a private uni. Like, are they running? Why it's like they're in their finals, though. They're not graduating.
They are graduated.
Literally a fresher. Some of my friends are in their final year.
I have a lot of friends that are graduated.
They're literally going towards
finals, but graduation is like different. Wow.
They are signed out. I saw signed out and Thanksgiving pictures.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's really crazy. But of course, at the end of the day, we can only say Alhamdulillah, we're leaving this level, period. And then till next semester exams again, we'll see. I mean, to round up this episode, this particular episode, let's talk about like some of the exam rules. Who's ready? Right. So like,
I've never even read this.
I know a lot of people actually did read this thing.
It's just like terms and conditions.
I mean, it's like you just come with the doctor, like let me just put you on my doctor and everything, and then this. Let me start with instructions.
All right.
Number 1, candidates must attend a minimum of 65% of the lectures for the course. Examiners have the right to prevent defaulters from sitting for the examination.
Shout out to my friends I trust.
Shout out to law students. I think that this rule only applies to law students because they actually take it quite very seriously. They actually send them out of the lecture like exam hall and say you've not been.
They release for qualified students, eligible students to do the exams.
I mean, that's like so crazy. But for the rest of the departments in this school, I don't even think the lecturers
before they start it.
Some lecturers don't even take attendance. Like some lecturers literally don't even take attendance. So how would they know? To be very honest. Then number 2 says candidates must be ready to enter the examination hall 10 minutes before the commencement of examination. Candidates who arrive more than half an hour after the commencement of an examination shall be admitted only at the discretion of the invigilator.
Who arrives half an hour after? Like,
Oh, actually, that happened last semester, like to one person in my department, and I think he has to carry over the course now because the woman didn't let him do it.
so people are
No
like,
amount of begging.
No amount
mixed
of
up the
begging. She's
time.
like, he has to go
Yo.
to Senate to go and beg them something. I'm like, ma,
that's
something
Similar
you can do.
incident
Yeah.
happened. I think something close almost happened in my department, but thanks to my class rep that I had to
Beg.
just drop the timing.
Yeah.
So some people thought we had that paper 12 and it was supposed to be 9.
Wow.
So imagine if
So
you
all
did-
of you will have come 12 o'clock and then the exam
But
is
it's having
over.
a master.
well,
Maybe
like,
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
yeah,
they
like,
will have
you
to done it.
have
That's
friends that
revealed.
should tell him that, okay, it's by 12. For
Yeah.
him to come alone is,
That's sad.
yeah, it's
But then you know there are some people that actually like to be lonely in the department. They don't talk to anybody. They don't have anybody's
They're
number.
probably busy working class. They are not even involved in the
Yeah.
classes.
yeah,
Exams.
yes,
Sure.
as they said, there's one
Please have a
meme
friend.
I saw that if you are not like following on the group chats or messages, before you know it, they've graduated without you. Something
mean,
like that.
you have to
Exactly.
follow
so you
on
can
the
just, you
group
have
chat.
to flow in.
But
know
then I
what's
think this
happening.
also doesn't apply when you're doing CBT exams. You know, CBT exams for people that like for a course that you have over how many departments doing.
Yeah.
I mean, some people will do 9 a.m., some people will be doing 12
Yeah,
p.m.
true.
It doesn't really matter.
Yes,
Anyway.
yes.
Anyway. Then the third one says candidates may not leave the hall during the examination. This is quite strict. I think
that's-
everybody
that's-
So if I
follows
want
it.
to be out.
Yeah, you
You
will
know
do
your
that.
Yeah.
We are your body, my dear. We are your
mean-
That's what
body.
they say before you start. They tell you to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Come on.
And this is number 5 says all rough work must be done in the answer booklet and crossed neatly throughout.
At least they said cross. One of our lecturers said if you cross, that's the end of your life.
Your life. I feel like this school there's a contrast going on. There's like a problem going on. The school is telling you one thing, your lecturers are telling you one thing, and then every time is like, who are we supposed to follow? Follow your lecturers, please. They are the ones that are marking your script.
not the dockets.
Okay, and then this one says candidates must come with their own writing materials to the examination hall. If you like, no come. Ask for eraser for Mr. For no. I'm not gonna say the name, but if you're a mass comm student, you know the person. If you like, ask for eraser. It's over for you. -10, be -20. Now, moving on, communication between candidates is strictly forbidden.
Wow, you don't say.
I'm just gonna cough and leave it at that. Then number 7 says the only permissible way of attracting attention of the invigilator is by raising your hand. Oh yeah, that
I
happens.
want extra script.
Then candidates, you want
okay.
I
I said it, you guys thought I was lying. You are a scholar.
I'm just
You're asking for
trying to
extra
demonstrate how it
sheets.
works in your hall.
Okay, that's cute. That's cute. I wish I was in your department so that you'd be giving me. things.
No, don't wish that.
Don't wish you know.
Yeah,
And you know
I know what's going on.
I take it back. Make my tongue not put me in trouble. Then this one says candidates are to write legibly. Names are not to be written on answer booklets. The answers to each question must be stated on a separate page. I think this just
Wait, names
applies
are
to
not to be
theory.
written in answer booklets.
I don't see this life. I'm telling you that we have so many contrasting rules
Wait.
because they will,
Did I
the
just-
lecturers will tell you to write your name and your matric number. Who am I supposed to obey?
God damn it.
The school?
Every lecturer, let's just do the ones that is going on.
The school? Okay, you find your script tire. You will find your script tire. Okay, this one says attendance register is to be signed at the commencement of the examination, and as each candidate hands in the script to the invigilator.
Yeah.
Most times they always sign it at the beginning of the examination.
Okay.
Then candidates must ensure that they have inserted at the appropriate places on the front of their booklets their examination numbers and the questions they answered. This also applies to theory questions.
Yeah, theory
because
questions. Yeah, true.
I don't know how to do this in CBT.
No, you can't.
You can't. Yeah.
Then the final instruction says mobile phones are not allowed in the examination hall.
That is brand
If
new
you like, carry it.
information.
Mobile
If
phone.
you like, no
Would
carry.
you rule out
Like,
I watch. Okay, now carry it, let them catch you.
yeah,
Next semester exam, you can try.
One time I was doing one exam like that, and someone's phone was ringing beside me. I was like,
Yo,
I couldn't even twist my neck because I'm dead if I'm super.
I mean, even if you want to carry your phone.
like I remember there was the
Why
time
you go ring?
there was a time they said if you are with your phone now, take it out of the exam hall. She kept on saying so. Like 4 guys stood up and wrote that. I was like, what if this man did not say
Say
it? What were you planning on
Planning to
doing
do,
exactly?
like,
That
yeah.
Wow,
like 4
that's
of
like.
his phones.
I mean, I feel like the limit I have is probably answering someone in the exam hall.
Yeah,
Why would I carry
like,
you'll
phone?
be so
phone
scared
is different.
and
Phone is
yo.
if they catch
People
you.
always write it like right on their bodies. I'm like shit tattoo. Like
No,
what?
I feel that one is even better than phone. Phone is if they
Yes,
catch
of
you. This is
course
not
now.
secondary
Yeah.
school. You are like
You're
you
not-
can't
Yeah.
even beg.
I mean,
You are gone.
okay, we're definitely gonna read out. Let me check for smuggling of phones or like trying to like possession of writing materials. I'm trying to look for the particular
And then the
misbehavior
pen.
and of course the I think it probably goes under smuggling and possession of answer script, and that is expulsion.
Bam, like
it's over for you.
You just whip out the form from nowhere.
I mean, once you fill the examination malpractice form,
practice form is very.
It's very, and then if you know me, lecturer that no matter how much you beg.
How does that thing work? Like someone should do it and get back to me. Like how does it work?
You could be the one now. Test subjects. You learn faster if you are the one. I mean, if it happens to you, never. But of course, let me see the the misconducts that apparently will cause expulsion. We have impersonation, smuggling and possession of answer scripts, destruction of unauthorized materials. I don't understand what this is. Am I supposed is it like tearing the exam paper?
Unauthorized.
Exam.
Stealing, destruction.
Wait, destruction of unauthorized materials.
Yes.
What does that even
Maybe
mean?
when they catch you paper, you eat it. Well, technically, it is true. I mean, it's unauthorized materials, and you are destroying it. You'll be expelled.
You have no evidence now.
You'll be expelled.
Don't go.
Now, the next one says, attacking or threatening invigilators. I don't even know if it's village people that will do you. That
someone did that thing one time.
Seriously?
Like, he changed it for the man, and then it like affected everyone in our class.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, people are supposed to gather and beat him up.
No, the guy is macho.
So all of you are scared of one man or one boy. So sad. But of course, you would be expelled if they catch you. Moving
all
on.
Of them are expulsion.
Yep.
So.
Tendering on authentic documents is also expulsion. Now, failure to submit your answer scripts is rustication.
Why would I go for an exam and
not submit my answer script?
What if the lecturer doesn't collect it? Maybe after.
Okay.
Like, don't submit again. Go and mark it yourself. What do you do at that point?
I say I'm not doing it again. It's better to have carryover than to be rusticated for 2 semesters. Now, moving on, recidivism. I don't know what this means, but expulsion. Check it up on Google. Check it up. Let me spell it. RECIDIVISM. Now, copying from unauthorized materials. Okay, people that used to write tattoo. Rustication, 2 semesters. Possession of writing materials. If you're a first timer, you get rustication for 2 semesters, and if you are a second time offender, you are expelled. Aiding and abetting others to copy. Rustication, 2 semesters. You bring the material in, you are not sharing it.
King of boys.
Now you be plugged. I be men they trust. Now you okay? You will be rusticated. Refusal to submit offending materials. Rustication, 2 semesters. Collaborative copying. I'm sorry, all of you gather together and copy one person. I don't understand. That's also rustication, 2 semesters. Then unauthorized communication.
What type of communication?
You people that answer people in the exam hall, or you ask people in the exam hall.
Your brother's
okay, until the both of you are kept outside. First timer, warning. Okay, the first timer you get a warning. Second timer, rustication for 1 semester. Disruptive behavior. First timer warning. Second timer rustication first semester. Influencing examination official. Oh, you have money. They catch you. You now say, sir, what's your account number? Let me drop it. You're of course going to be if you're first timer you get warning. If you're second timer rustication for 1 semester. Unauthorized changing of sitting position. You people that display your formation, you now want to reform the formation.
Wait, what's that one?
Unauthorized changing of sitting position.
What's the penalty?
That's first timer you get a warning, second timer you get rustication for 1 semester.
All of us have done it like 5 times.
Thank you for casting your
No, like them, they've done it like
it's him. I am not involved. I was not there. And of course, the final 2 I'm going to take is disobeying examination instructions. First timer warning, second timer rustication. And we get the phone one. Phone 1 says possession of telephones in the examination hall, either in use or not, you get rustication for 1 semester. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are tips you should probably use for the next exam. Yep. And on this note, we're going to be rounding up today. Don't forget, these are your favorite people in the whole wide world, and your favorite show in the whole wide world, because this is safe space. And of course, I am Mika, and I've been with Nedu, the podcast guy. And of course,
Damola.
Thank you guys for watching this episode. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Nice.
Bye.
Bye.